Now, if you ever seen someone improvise on the piano like this, then you were probably thinking, man, I want to be able to do this as well. And yeah, there's no way that's ever going to happen. But what if I told you that you can learn how to improvise no matter where you are as a beginner using this method? I've been playing piano for 20 years, and when I entered music conservatory, I was taught this method for how to approach improvisation as a beginner and actually sound good right away. Now, it's not about learning scales and practicing them for endless hours, so stay around, you're gonna love this. All right, first we're gonna have a look at the progression that I was using in the intro. It's actually quite simple. The first chord is just C major. Second chord is also C major in the right hand, but we add the E in the left hand instead of the C. It's called C over E. It's a so-called slash chord. Next chord is F major, which is going to sound like this. And then shift it up one white key for G major. So play this one more time. C major, C over E. Then we have F major and G major. All right, I was using two inversions here, which I'm going to teach you real quick. So when we are on the C over E, instead of jumping up here, we can actually keep our thumb where it is, and these two fingers move up. So this is a second inversion F major chord. And then you can shift this up for a G major in second inversion. That makes it a bit more fluent, a bit easier and more fun to play. All right, here are the first steps into improvisation. Again, if you're a beginner, stick around, stay with the process, and you'll actually be improvising by the end of this lesson. So the first thing we want to do is only play single notes in our right hand. So instead of playing the entire chord, just play the bottom note of each chord. It's going to sound like this. Again, C. And then up. Do this one more time. Now you can imagine sort of you're playing the chord where your thumb should be. Next step is pick the middle note and play this. A lot of unison there. Next, pick the top note. So we're going to start on the G. And this actually sounds quite nice. Now for our next step, we pick two notes and play those. So let's start with the bottom two notes. One more time. Again, imagine playing the full chord and then only the bottom two notes. Now let's pick the top two notes. We're going to start on E and G. And one option is remaining, the top and bottom note. All right, before we get into the next step where it starts to get really interesting and we actually go into improvisation, the reason behind these exercises is we want to sort of break free from these chord shapes with always three notes in the hand. If we want to improvise, single lines like this, or even add some harmony like this, then we need to not always have to play three notes at the same time. And it's a small shift in your brain that you have to make, and exercises like these are very good at teaching you this. Now, before I talk too much, let's actually just get into the next step for this method. So now remember the two-note combinations that we had. We're going to play those again, but don't worry, we're going to do actual improvisation this time. Now I want you to experiment with these two notes and kind of play them alternatingly. So you can play both at the same time, you can play them after another, just sort of like mix them up. I'm going to show you one version. And you may already get a sense of where this is headed. Now let's pick the top two notes again. Next is the top and bottom note. All right, now if this is still a step where you feel like it's just something you're not able to do right now, or it doesn't feel confident yet, then really take your time with this. Now, what you can do is just leave the left hand out. Just focus on the right hand for now, because you want to free up as much mental space as possible to actually start getting creative and play what you sort of hear and think. So you can just sort of do this in the beginning and then add the left hand. Now, I'm also right now going to give you a backing track you can use and just improvise over this small section of the video, so you don't have to worry about the left hand, but it still sounds good. So I'm going to play it twice for you so you can do the last exercise over this section of the video. So let's start in 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Now, take your time with this, take as long as you need, and when you feel confident, then you can go over to the next step. Now let's get back to our two-note combinations. At some point they get boring, I get it. Let's add more notes. Now, one simple thing we can do is add the note in between the two notes that we used. Now again, starting with the bottom two notes, it's maybe going to sound something like this. Now when we have these two chords, we have a bigger interval with two notes in between, so you can actually just go play all the notes in between there. For example, for the top two notes, like this. And then the top and bottom note. Here's where it gets maybe a bit more tricky, so you can also stick to these two nice thirds to improvise. All right, next, of course, we want to explore the rest of the keyboard, because these notes are still very limiting if you feel confident with the previous step, then you can move on and explore the chord tones above and below. So for example, so what did I do there? Again, I started with these two notes, adding the middle note, and then you can go down to the next chord tone of C major, which is the G. You can also go up to the G, and then for example, in this pair of notes now, and yeah, this is really where you will start to get creative. And now it pays to master all these previous exercises, and then for this step you can really start putting everything together and actually explore your options again, which are so many. Like it's way too much to cover for this video actually, but if you want to go on a deeper dive and maybe get in touch and get direct feedback with me, then I would suggest you click on the link in the description or the pinned comment, which is my private community where I have weekly live calls where I give private one-on-one coaching for free. I have lots of beginner courses which go step by step into things like this, and you can start your free trial if you go over there right now. And I'll see you guys again in the next lesson.